So I'm recording this live because I am recording this live because like the other day when I was recording in ClipChamp, yeah, it had like cut me off at the end, and I didn't want to like go and redo anything. So I thought, oh, well, maybe the next time I record, I'll just do it live, so that way it records like uh however long I have to, whatever I have to say, then it'll just record it, right? So, but anyways, I was looking at like my metrics. Ooh, split the deck on the double in temperance. So somebody, ooh, geez. Wow, this is a reading for divine masculines. So the devil's been on your tail, but you got some temperance energy coming in. Wow. So this double energy is going to get balanced out. And here's some more balance. It's just still balanced. I was just bringing out the tarot to see if we can get like a who this would be for. This reading is actually meant for divine masculines, but so a Queen of Wands and a Queen of Cups. Well, so here's somebody with at least a divine masculine with at least two female energies. I don't know if they're the same person yet, but we see a Queen of Wands and a Queen of Cups. Sometimes, I mean, you know what? Sometimes people can, you can be dealing with somebody who's embodying multiple energies. Oh, we have a Hermit and a Queen of Wands. So you can be dealing with a Virgo, or you could be the Virgo. You know, I've been starting to do readings for Virgos, so like if it came out, I wouldn't be surprised. So I was kind of like, as I was, and we have a Hanged Man, and here's this Queen of Wands again. Dude, this Queen of Wands keeps coming out. So divine masculine, there is a Queen of Wands in your energy who's really, either your mind is really on her or she's really asserting herself. I'm kind of giving me the impression, because it keeps coming out right side up, that maybe you're actually thinking about her. So she was a Page of Cups who showed up to bring you like a little bit of happiness, and now you can't stop thinking about her. So we have this Knight of Cups. So I feel like this Knight of Cups, with the Hierophant. So something doesn't feel, whatever this person was trying to offer you, just didn't, something about it is not feeling official, or something is just not legit. Maybe you feel like whoever this is, maybe this is that Queen of Wands. She was offering you this with this Page of Cups upside down. It was like she was offering you this little bit of happiness, but you're like seeing this little bit of happiness and you're like, I don't know, bro. You're like and then we also have this like Two of Pentacles. So you're like, I don't know. Something about the, and then remember in the beginning where we saw like the Devil and then that Temperance, and the Temperance coming out to balance something? Because maybe like whatever this Two of Pentacles energy is that's behind this page. Okay, so like that Queen of Wands came in and she was offering you like this little bit of happiness, right? And you were like, yeah, I don't know if you're like, I don't know about that. And then, you know, that with this Hierophant in reverse, like, it's kind of giving like this feeling of like somebody's offering something, but I don't know, maybe it's just like the way that they worded it, and or what they were attempting to offer you made it come off as like who are, like, do you even have the authority to offer me what you're offering? Like somebody's like, you know what, it's almost kind of giving the feeling of somebody who's like promising you a lot. Maybe it's even also coming off as like a love bombing, you know, where it's like, oh, there's so much going on here. So, you know, and then also, but we also have like this Knight of Cups. So usually Knight of Cups is a slower moving energy. But it does usually also represent it does usually represent some like classic romantic. So maybe you're like somebody who's like likes romance in a traditional sort of way. So maybe this Queen of Wands who's offering you this cup is like, it just feels really unconventional, and maybe you're a traditional person, so like that's just not appealing to you. But maybe you also like this person and you're like, I like them, but I also don't like this offer or something about how that was set up. You're just not loving it. So, and that's okay. I mean, I think that if you really look, if this Queen of Wands in your life is somebody important to you and you want to continue to pursue them, my thing would just be have a conversation with them. Don't be afraid to ask more questions. It's okay to tell somebody, oh, here's a golden egg. Nice. That's always a good energy. This is my wild unknown animal spirit deck. I felt led to, this was like the first deck I felt led to get before I started doing this. But then I also was given the feeling to grab the regular tarot just to see some to get some footing as we get into this. So, of course, even though I'm addressing you as a he, if, you could be, we all have male and female energies. Not male and female. I mean, divine and masculine and feminine energies in all of us, right? So, like, if you are in your masculine energy, then this might resonate with you. I felt like this message was going to be for divine masculines because the King of Cups reading I did, there seemed some interest in it. So, I thought I would do one for the masculines, So, sometimes in the tarot community, sometimes masculines get a little bit left. I don't know if it's left out or left behind or gotten to a little bit later, There's so many women that are very interested in tarot. But, you start seeing a lot more guys getting involved in tarot too. Like, there's a lot of male readers that I watch. Maybe I'll share some of my Discord of the male readers that I've been watching. So there's several of them, and I think they're really good. But anyways, you also have this star energy out here in the upper right. So divine masculine, I feel like this is for a divine masculine who you have a platform and you're definitely in the public eye. Okay. So you may have a YouTube channel, maybe you have a Twitch, maybe you're a VTuber, or somebody like that. Or in your community, now we have the cosmic egg. So, as I'm shuffling through here, we got a couple of these major arcanas and the animal spirit that keeps, the fact that they're all these eggs though, that feels pretty good. So Holy Spirit, what kind of messages do we have for our divine masculines who are dealing with the situation? Meow. Ooh, Firefly. A light in the dark, which I feel like that kind of piggybacks up off of that star energy. What's the thing? You seen that movie, The Princess and the Frog, and how there's that little lightning bug, and he always talks about the moon as his, and then an eagle. What's an interesting thing about these two cards? They kind of almost feel like reversals, right? Okay, so whereas you have the sun down here and then you have this bright light in the dark, and then now over here you have this fire in the midst of the light sky. So I'm going to get one more from here And then I'm just gonna kind of go over this and then give you all a fortune card, okay? But I was debating if I should I also keep feeling like maybe I should grab a few of the light and dark oracle for you as well. We'll just see what this firefly and eagle have to say for your situation with this Queen of Wands. I didn't pull the Queen of Wands card, but I just keep thinking about it, and I just keep feeling like I feel like that Queen of Wands is the person who was holding this energy. And I feel like not only is it upside down representing that she was the one holding this energy, but that this is out, I feel like your thoughts are possibly just like I don't know if it's obsessive thoughts, intrusive thoughts, or just you're actually it's something you're trying to figure out, You're like, You're like, I don't know about this situation. Oh my goodness. Bro. No, we're trying to get rid of that. Stop it. Um, you know, so I feel like you're trying to, maybe you're still like, maybe this Queen of Wands made you an offer that you weren't sure about, but you're still thinking about it. It's like on your mind. It's not showing me how long you've been contemplating it. You just weren't sure if something was legit. But I do think that deep down, as always, like in tarot, we always say that you should always listen to your own discernment, Like you have to be able to tap into that, your inner knowing, sir, and or divine masculine. Ooh, at the bottom is octopus, but upside down. So deep emotion, but oh, and then we have the otter, so we got 2 air and a water. So you may have a lot of air in your birth chart. Hold on a sec. Yeah. All right. But the eagle is a really strong, that's a very strong and positive energy. Eagles, they soar high and they can see far. Sometimes they're not as noted for their perception as a hawk, but they're still pretty good hunters. They hunt from very high in the air. All right, so the otter talks about unobstructed joy, playfulness, and contentment. Okay, so you just feel really, maybe you're just happy where things are right now. Maybe somebody offered you something and you're just not sure if you want to. Oh, okay, so maybe you're not sure if, so like maybe this person wanted a commitment, or they want to enter into a more official situation, and you're just not sure if that's for you or not. You already feel like you're complete and happy as you are, so you're probably like just in a space where you're saying, well, do I really need this? Do I want it? And just because you don't need something doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with having it either. Like when we take on partners, a partner shouldn't be taken on because you feel like you absolutely need them and have to have them. Because if you felt like you couldn't live without them, that's not being in love. That's being codependent, So like just because you feel like you can live without them, you know what I mean? So it's like you don't have to feel like you can't live without them to take on a partner, because that's just a different type of relationship. And to be honest, if you feel like you're a full and complete person, you're probably going to have a way healthier relationship experience with your person, because like somebody who feels that they are complete already on their own, they you know you're going to have basically minimal expectations of your person than to love you and just be with you, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, so it says that the firefly is inspired and fantastic yet fleeting. So it talks about when it's in balance, you should be writing and work on brainstorming some of your ideas. Um, it says the firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. Oh, and it's right next to the star. So yeah, remember I said the firefly was giving me that star energy. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This high frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if you do not catch it. So that's making me feel like this offer that's come to you, so this offer that's been made to you, you're not sure if that's really for you, but I think this is saying that, like, it's really up to you if you want to take this or not. But if you take too long to decide, then the opportunity to have it is going to just slip on by. That's what it's giving me. So it's saying that, like, the light of this opportunity, like, you have an opportunity to go down this path, but whether you go down it or not is really up to you. And we just finished Mercury retrograde, so, like, this person probably is not going to come around just yet, so who knows if it's going to come back around again. So, even if the way this person offered the situation, if you don't feel like it's been completely balanced and fair to you, you can always come back. It's okay. Like, if somebody offers you something but you feel it's not totally fair to you, but you like that person, you can always go back to somebody and say, okay, well, I do like you, but, like, these boundaries or terms of the way you offered it doesn't really suit me. But what if we do this instead? And just also start modifying the terms, negotiate the boundaries, figure out, like, okay, well, as you offered it isn't going to be good, but what if it's like this, or what if it's like this, and or you letting this person know, like, this is what you need, and you know what, divine masculine, you know what, you gotta, if you have a person in your life that you would consider taking on as a life partner, even if they're not like a twin flame or divine kingdom spouse, if it's just somebody you want to enter into a relationship with of any kind, you have the right to let somebody know what you need. And if what they want to offer you doesn't meet your needs, it's okay to say, like, look, I think you're great and I super appreciate you, but, I just feel like what you're able to, like, something in this is not compatible with you, and so that is not necessarily a negative reflection of the other person. We all have our own needs and wants, and we all have, like, what we need to get out of something, and so if somebody can't meet you at the level where you're at, and or you get to a level where they're at, because maybe this is just a situation where you're concerned about your ability to show up in a way that's fair to that person. So maybe you were like, well, you feel concerned because you feel concerned about being able to fairly meet the other person's expectations for whatever reason. And that's just really your insecurities talking, and we all have insecurities. So there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you should tell that person that, there's nothing wrong with telling somebody, what, I really like you, but the terms of this makes me feel insecure, and this is why. And I feel like, especially because if this is somebody that you would consider living with and or being a partner and being committed to, then if you like them enough to have been willing to be with them under the right circumstances or conditions, then I feel like you should speak up and tell somebody, be more vocal about your insecurities and your vulnerabilities, okay? Because how are you going to have this beautiful and thriving relationship where only the other person shows up vulnerable and communicates while you hide everything, okay? That doesn't work. If you get into, look, if you get into like this cute little relationship where you just really value and treasure this other person in your life and you never open up, that other person is going to end up feeling cheated. And rightly so, because, a relationship takes both people to participate and both people to communicate and both people to be present. It requires both parties to do this. And if one side is not willing to do it, it's eventually going to break down and be dysfunctional because everybody has to participate. It is not okay and it is not fair for just one person to show up and do all the heavy lifting in a relationship. That's not fair. Guys want to open doors and pay for everything for a woman, but yet, like, well, what about opening the doors of your hearts for her to walk into that? And or what about taking one for the team when it comes to helping her bridge the gap here between you guys for what you need to have a happy life together, So maybe think about that as well. If you have the possibility to be happy with somebody, because you know what? Sometimes it's not always easy to find people both that we like and who we can find ourselves being comfortable around most of the time. So I just, I'm not going to tell you what to do, of course, but I'm just putting that out there as food for thought, And that, so the eagle talks about all pervading power, truth seeker, and transforms karma, So, and it talks about to have this truly in balance, you need to step into the unknown and, just shine and meet these challenges where they're at. And I feel like this eagle card is showing up because I feel like, this person who's in your life, don't be afraid to just shine yourself as you really are, especially like if this is somebody, okay, because like this Knight of Cups, we're seeing like this is you, somebody who's maybe possibly feeling romantic towards this other person who had this offer towards you, right? So you are interested, you're interested, like something about this attracts you and has your attention, right? So if it has your attention, then your effort needs to go there also. You know what I'm saying? Because like before dismissing it, I feel like you should definitely I feel like before dismissing it that you should give it a chance. And what's this? Yeah. This situation is going to open you up to powerful personal growth. I kept looking at this deck kept like just staring at me, and I felt like I needed to come get messages out of it. The past returns for a time. So you may also, you know what? If this offer was from somebody new or recent in your life, like this old person that you used to be with can feel the presence of the new person, but it's cleanup time because we're leaving the past in the past, It's, maybe like with the old person coming back, it's going to help you decide what you want. Yeah, all this eclipse energy, there's a huge energetic shift going on right now, but breaking dawn, I feel like by the next morning from the time you watch or listen to this, that something is going to come to the light. You may get like an epiphany, or a realization. Maybe your ancestors or your angels are gonna like show you something. The natural world needs you. And some ancient wisdom. Oh yeah, I just said that. Like your ancestors. All right. So you have your ancestors are here, and they're gonna guide you and show you. They're gonna send you something to help discern if whoever this Queen of Wands energy is, because even though it's coming up as a Queen of Wands, we all have male and female energies in us, So whoever you feel like that Queen of Wands energy is, who maybe recently made an offer to get into a commitment with you, so your ancestors are gonna come and help guide you since you need help. So I feel like there's I feel like, you know what it kind of seems like? You're maybe just looking at it from one point of view and not realizing that you have the ability to also influence the details of how this could potentially work, so that if it was a situation that you'd like to be in and have it be happy and satisfying for you, like that is possible, but you need to speak up and talk about what it is that you need. You need to talk about your needs. You need to talk about what you want out of the situation, okay? Did I drop another one? I felt like I was dropping one. So we have one right here. So I was going to give you a couple fortune cookies, and you got property. A property purchase or sale for many, but heed security concerns in any transaction. So if you're buying a house, a car, anything you're buying right now, make sure you're reading the terms of that. There's a lot going on in the economy right now with changes in credit and credit ratings, and the APRs on loans right now are like at an all-time high. So if you're thinking about buying anything, definitely read the fine prints, because otherwise you may get swindled for something. You also have some challenges. Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. It says, take time out from your problems or conflicts, or approach softly to avoid making matters worse. So I feel like whatever this was, you have a person here in your life, and I feel like this person is actually really important to you, And I just say that because of the degree of attention they have from you right now. Because if they weren't important, would they have your attention? It's like, well, maybe you need to ask yourself as well and say, you know what? I can't stop paying attention to this person. Why is that? And divine masculine, don't be afraid to be honest with yourself. Just tell yourself the truth, dude. Tell yourself the truth. Don't lie to yourself. Don't live in denial. Life is short. There's some care required. Yeah, and it says guard yourself against deception, but be careful of foolish mistakes at this time. So that's why I said it's giving me this feeling like I feel like what's happening right now, whatever this Queen of Wands relationship is, I feel like this is an opportunity for you to go have a relationship with this person. If you want to. If you don't want to, I feel like this other person who is coming in from your past may serve as like an energy that provides a way out if you're on the fence too much, and then you were like, well, maybe I don't want to do this, or maybe I don't feel like this is fair to me. Maybe I want to you're just not sure, But I would also like to say, in terms of for just not feeling sure, I mean, there's things in life that we can go through, and you know what? Especially like when it comes to love and relationships, sometimes you can never be 100% sure. Oh, it says reinvent yourself, but it's upside down. It says transformation is taking place. Enjoy a new lease of life. So, oh, so there is transformation going on in your life, but maybe you're like not trying to reinvent yourself. So maybe this is like your ancestors are showing up and they're like, I think your ancestors are here because they see you having challenges with romance. And they're like, okay, somebody needs to come help our guy over here because, like, homie is like not doing himself any favors over here and he just keeps shooting himself in the foot. And or you may take too long. You know what? Because you know what? Here's the thing, right? And I'm giving you like all these other little food for thoughts because, like, how we saw like this was a fleeting energy from the firefly. Like, it's there, but it's not going to last forever, right? So I feel like this is your energy overall. You feel happy and playful when you're with this person, you know? Um, you know, but if we go back to what we started off with, this energy from that Queen of Wands is it's a limited time offer. So if you can't decide whether you want to do this or not, it's going to disappear or move on from it. Like, you don't have forever to decide. You're at some point you're going to have to decide. And if you don't decide, the universe will decide for you, in which case this person will move on and this offer will not be available to you anymore. Okay? And that may be fair and you may be fine with that. If that is, that's totally cool, you know. But I just feel a need to caution you because the feeling of regret is a powerful feeling, okay? And if you wake up in a year, 2 years, 5 years, and you realize, oh my God, this person was really great and I wish I would have at least gave it a try, you know? But there's no way to go back to yesterday. All we can do is decide to do with the time we have that's given to us right now. You know, so right now you have this Queen of Wands energy person here in your life. You know, and I'm not telling that you have to try with this person. You know, because that's your life. But I'm just saying, you know, search your heart. You know, because if you want this to even a semi-serious degree, maybe you can talk about the the fears or insecurities that keep you for feeling like this is unfair to you. Maybe try negotiate some of these terms or the boundaries of this relationship so that it can feel more fair to you. You know, uh it's like if we say let's go to this restaurant and I hate onions. So, but when I get there, it's like instead of just refusing to order anything, I can order something and ask them to take off the stuff I don't like, right? I can say, "Hi, can I get this? But can I get this without any onions on it? And or can I have the sauce on the side? Or can I have extra sauce on the side?" You know, it's sort of that kind of stuff. So sometimes in relationships, we can say, "Well, you know, um, I guess you have to, you know, I think the thing you should consider about the situation, if you're still deciding, is like, how are you going to feel? So let's say, like, if you take too long and then this person moves on and they go carry on with their life, which you think, I know, like, in concept, you're going to think, oh, well, that's sure. I want her to be happy. Okay, but what happens when she's happy with somebody else? And if you see her out and about in public, living her happy life, what happens if you think about, oh, that could have been me, you know? And maybe not, you know, maybe you have like a divine counterpart coming in that you're not aware of yet. But, you know, a lot of people in this journey talk about twin flames, and sure, you can go be with your twin flame if you want to, but you don't have to be in a romantic relationship with your twin flame. You really don't. Like, a lot of people feel like, oh, that's the thing you're destined for. And it's like, well, maybe, but you know what? Sometimes a high level soulmate is a little bit better and then your twin flame can just be like a friend. And because, our twin flames end up being like a mirror who mirror back to us our wounds and what we need to heal and work on in us, you know? And instead of that being your person, you have this person that you could potentially just be happy with. And maybe that twin flame still exists somewhere else in your life to keep showing you what you need to heal in your side. And then the healed version of you is with this person that you'd be happier with. Because, like when you look at the cups in the tarot, the cups usually are like, the cups are a happiness, the cups are a feel good. So it's like, even though this person was only offering you a cup, which is like the cup, one cup is not a 10 of cups, but you can't get to the 10 of cups without having one cup, right? It all starts with a journey. A journey to 10 cups also always starts with one, and I think a lot of people really forget that, everybody just wants to go straight to the 10 of cups. Well, you're not going to go to the 10 of cups without starting here. You have to start with a little bit, right? So, I do also feel like with the Hierophant out here, not only do they want this, they want an official commitment. They want it official, and they want it to be fair to them. But if it's only fair for them, then that's not even fair, right? Because it has to be fair for you as well. So I feel like I just really, this is really just telling me, which I know I've been like, keep repeating this. So sorry. But Divine Masculine, I really just feel like you have a situation here that you need to decide on. And if you take too long to make up your mind, this person is just going to move on. And they're going to go on with their life. So I don't think this person is going to wait for you for forever. Okay. It's not, I'm not seeing anything in here that's telling me how long they plan to wait for you. Yeah, because like this person, now the temperance is up. So like that Queen of Wands is trying to balance her life out. And so she wants something that's fair to her. It's really important that something is fair to her. So maybe like also if you want to keep talking to her, I feel like maybe it'll be a point in your side to validate that in her, okay? The next time you talk to her, just say something that's like, I know, I understand that you want this to be fair for you, and you have every right to want it to be fair to you, and I want this to be fair for you as well. And I feel like if you acknowledge that part from the get-go, you're going to calm her insecurity, because obviously her insecurity and vulnerabilities has to deal with a situation being fair to her, okay? And once you acknowledge, I feel like even the simple act of acknowledging this is going to do a lot to calm that down. So then she might be like, oh, okay, all right, well, so he's willing to be fair to me. Okay, so maybe I'll, so she'll stop seeing other people and or give up something else. So maybe you felt like there was too many other people who were in her energy, and maybe you wanted her to balance things out in your favor, which if that's the case, it has to be fair for everybody. If it's not fair for everybody, then it's really not fair, is it? So you can't, like I was saying, she can't have it just only fair for her. You can't have it only fair for you either. All right? It has to be fair for both parties, or else it's not fair at all. Taking on a partner is teamwork. It's teamwork. It's not just you versus this person. It should never be a mindset of you versus them or them versus you. It should be a mindset of, how are we building this together? Because all the time that you spend together is going to be towards building a beautiful relationship. And you're never going to get to the place of building together if you feel like it's you versus them. You shouldn't have a mentality of you versus them. It should be you and them. It should be you versus you and them versus them. You know what I mean? Because we should always still be continuing to work on ourselves. Just because we get a partner doesn't mean that we're done working on ourselves. Our partner is just there to support ourselves. And so if you feel like you're already happy and content in life and you don't need a partner to be happy, that's great. That's perfect. That means that that means that your feelings for them are not codependent. That means that you're showing up in this really you're really showing up in this strong energy. So it's I just feel like whatever this romantic situation is for you, it's kind of almost on the edge of a knife right now. So, not to be overly dramatic, but like in Lord of the Rings and Fellowship of the Ring, when they show up to Lothlorien and Galadriel says, she's like, this quest stands on the edge of a knife, straight but a little, and to the ruin of us all. And obviously, this is just a relationship, so I don't think this is coming to the ruin of anybody, but this person has made it clear what they want, and I feel like maybe if they push too hard, it'll make you feel like it's not fair to you. But I also feel like if you're not being fair to them, that they're going to quickly move on away from this, okay? So you can argue against that all you want to. Nobody's going to stop you from that. But I'm just saying that I'm just cautioning you, because losing somebody that was important to us, it's very hard to come back and bring it back to what it was before. Like if you guys ever got back together later on, like maybe new, fresh, and better, but you will already have lost that honeymoon stage that you seem to have been having recently, okay? You had something very happy and satisfying going on recently. I mean, whatever was going on recently, for that person to offer you this, for somebody to come and tell you this, especially if she has a wound, around something that's fair to her, and she's coming and willing to offer you this, like, she has insecurities also. You both have insecurities. You're not the only one, and neither one of you should shame the other one for having concerns. When we get into a new relationship, everybody's going to have concerns and insecurities, and it's our job as a partner to be willing to validate the other person's concerns and to try and help find a way to work through it in and overcome these challenges together. It's together. It's for us, not just you and not just her. It's the us, and that's the thing. So, and maybe like if in your mind you cannot get to the us place and you're still in just the me place, then maybe you should just let her go, because it's not going to be balanced and fair to her if it's only about you and never about her. And that's all I have for you today. I'm going to go ahead and end this because it's almost 45 minutes and I feel like I'm just repeating myself. But so hope you guys have a great evening. We're almost at the weekend. If you're in the part of the world where it's already Friday, then happy Friday. Thank you. Also, like and subscribe if you want to get notifications when I post new content. So thank you.